What's going on, YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching My Peculiar Exotics. My name is Jennifer and today we are going to be doing a product review by Thrive. I am not sponsored by them by any means, but I wanted to pick up this particular item and give it a try myself. I had seen reviews of it online by other people and I just wanted to see for myself. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Desert Acrylic Terrarium by Thrive. This one right here. Now it is made for tarantulas, scorpions, arachnids alike, and it is like a step up from what Zilla came out with, which is those acrylic enclosures with the rubber bands. Now, by any means am I saying this is going to be a great option to use for your tarantula or your other arachnids as an enclosure. I always do recommend that you guys buy tarantula cribs, especially for your tarantulas. That is the sure way, the safest bet to go. I highly recommend their enclosures compared to anybody else's on the market. So that is my disclaimer. Just saying, I'm not saying this is something I'd recommend you use. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Hello. Here I am going to show you guys the process of me unboxing this enclosure. Now, it had tons of different pieces with it. It did have all of the pieces that it said it was going to have, and all the pieces were pretty much, in good shape besides the one piece that I did have trouble with. This was very easy to follow the directions and put it together. It took me about 30 minutes total to put this entire enclosure together, which is why I have the video sped up. Now, I did love the transparency of the acrylic pieces that they include in with the enclosure. Here are the little pins that you do use to put the enclosure together with. They are pretty hard to pull apart, and my hands did hurt after about a half hour of trying to pull these little pins apart. Some of them were easier than others, and it hurt my fingers. Now, I did like how these big long pieces had plenty of ventilation. It gives great cross ventilation for the enclosure, and the lid piece also did have lots of ventilation as well. So this enclosure overall had lots of ventilation. I did like the acrylic pieces, and the base was okay. But these pins, they were a lot to deal with, and I couldn't imagine trying to put this thing together with bigger hands. Now here I am showing you it put together. I did give it a shake test and it did feel a little loose, so just warning, pick it up by the bottom. Now before I put the substrate in here, I'm fixing the bottom pieces to make sure they're secure, and this is the piece that was not sitting flush, and so I just did my best to put it together, and I just cover the rest with substrate, and hopefully it doesn't come apart. Hopefully. Now I'm adding plenty of substrate to this enclosure because I do like to give my terrestrial and or semi-fossorial species of tarantula plenty of substrate to burrow down into if they so choose, which here I am putting the hide in there. I do use cork bark hides for the majority of my tarantulas. You do want to give them a pre-made dugout hide that they have immediately to go into when you go to rehouse them. This gives them somewhere to go, and it causes less complications between the two of you and the tarantula. Now here I am adding lots of sphagnum moss, I'm adding leaf litter, and I'm also going to be adding the live plants. And I do give the enclosures, when I put them together, an initial good mist. But for this specific species, I will only need a water dish for the humidity, but I do spray it once a week, every other week. It just all depends. I'm still getting used to it, to be honest. But here's the most difficult part of putting this enclosure together, was putting the top on. Now, on the outside of this lid, there is a lip that goes around the entire top, and it was hard for me to fit my little fingers in between this lip and put the pieces together how they're supposed to be. And I couldn't make sure they were snapped all the way per se, and I even tried to use pliers and that didn't work. So imagine trying to do this with bigger hands. I don't know if you would even be able to get it together unless you had somebody around with smaller hands. And that's also why you will see me going against the guide and putting the pins facing outwards rather than inwards. So that is the end of this voiceover. I hope you enjoyed it, and let's get into the rest of this video. Now, like I said before, she is a golden blue leg baboon tarantula. She's an old world species, and she has an attitude. And I'm hoping by putting her in a bigger enclosure that she will start to calm down. But we'll see. And I like this cup because it's gonna give me a lot of space between me and her. And no, I didn't really want to touch her before cupping her because she is quite defensive. Looks like I'll be able to bring her this way. So as long as I watch her toes. Just keep the pressure on them, you guys. The more you stop and go, the more they get upset. Come on, girl. Come on. Yep, now she's gonna start getting crabby with me because she does not want to leave her house. She loves it here. I get it. But I have something more exciting for her. Come on. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure, not too much. Come on. Come on. My paintbrush is also caught on a lot of these webs. There we go. Well, she's got a little bit of web coming with her. And I got a lot in my hands. Hold on. Hold on. We will just set her like so. Before I get her out completely, where am I? I'm going to take some of this webbing because it is fact, you guys, that when you put webbing, their old webbing in the new enclosure, they settle in 10 times faster. And this is because they smell and taste with their feet. So when you put webbing that's theirs in the new enclosure, they'll be able to tell that that's their web and they'll settle in much easier. And of course, they will do that thing where they crunch up in a corner and don't move for a few hours. That's completely normal. And we'll just put this little web piece right here. She'll feel it. Probably put another one in there since it's a bigger enclosure. Here we go. There we go. Just wanted her to have a lot of her old home with her. She's quite a upsetty spaghetti spider, if you catch my drift. But notice how she hasn't slapped at me yet. She's not aggressive. She's not out to get me. She's just defending herself, which is why we call tarantulas defensive and not aggressive. Look at her. Just a sweet baby. She says, Mama, I'm just a sweet baby. Big scaredy cats. You know, it's like when a cat gets shy and they scratch at you because they're unsure. But she looks so good. Heck yeah. Now I'll show you guys how this top goes on. It's a little weird. It does have magnets, as you can see, but you have to put it, you have to like slide it in and then down, just like that. Ta-da! And I'll show you guys. See, look, she's going right over to her webbing. She's like, that's mine. Is that yours, girl? I'll show you. See, these are the parts that I ended up just putting on the outside because there is no way my little tiny fingers are not even gonna fit in there. So, Thrive, please explain to me how I'm supposed to do that with my fingers. I'm just curious because you guys, I'm not kidding. That's how they're supposed to go in. You see? They go in the hole that way. But I did it this way because if this breaks, like I said, while she's still in here, I'm not going to be able to fix it. She will fight me. So, and yes, I will be adding a water dish. It's right there. I got to clean it. That's it, you guys. We'll get some cool shots here in a second. So today we learned that just because an enclosure is cheaper does not mean that it is always the best option. Now this enclosure I was not able to put together, like I said, completely just because I couldn't fit my fingers into the little tiny parts where the pieces are supposed to go. And when I went to go pick up the enclosure, you guys, do not, if you do use this enclosure, pick it up by the bottom part. Do not pick it up by the sides. Another thing that I did want to say is one of the pieces was not flush with the rest of them. So when you get stuff that's pre-cut that you put together to build at home, sometimes the pieces aren't cut to perfection like they're supposed to, and they don't always fit. One of the pieces, I wasn't able to completely put the pin piece on securely, so I pretty much just had to put it on as best as I could and then cover with dirt and hope that it doesn't come apart. I'm sure this enclosure will be good for now, but in the long run, I don't think I will be buying another one, and we'll see how long this one really lasts. I'm really actually curious. So, as always, if you guys are going to buy enclosures, please go buy Tarantula Cribs enclosures. They are the best on the market. They're the safest bet. And they are the brand that I 100% believe in compared to any other brand. And that's not just because I work closely with them and am sponsored by them. It's literally because I have been using their enclosures since the beginning of keeping tarantulas. And with everything that I've experienced in keeping tarantulas, knowing that your tarantula is safe and secure in their enclosure is one of the most important factors of keeping, especially for people that are new to the hobby or just in general. You guys can always use my code JPExotics10 when shopping with Tarantula Cribs. It saves you a generous 10% and it helps my channel out so much. So thank you so much to everyone that has used my code, that does use my code, and will be using it in the future. Thank you so much. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys would like to see me review any other products concerning tarantulas or other arachnids alike, please comment down below what I should check out. And remember, friends, frogs, lizards, snakes, and spiders are your friends. Let's make a better world for them. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed week.